a few days ago, I followed up on Graham Nolan's just complete conniption fit about my promoting his book on my news site, which has a number of contributors, which via an interview with John Trent, which John Trent initiated because John Trent wants to promote Catholic and conservative creators, as John Trent is a devout Catholic, and Graham Nolan says he's Catholic. I mean, he doesn't talk about it much, and he says he's conservative. So he did that interview. And while I'm not a fan of Graham Nolan because, of course, Mr. Nolan has shown his true colors as just this cowardly, awful individual who will kowtow to the most awful elements of ComicsGate and what Ethan Van Sciver does with his cult to the point of being performative. I allowed it on the site anyway, just because I'm like, you know what, this shouldn't be about personally me. I want to act like a CBR or a Bleeding Cool, but honest and on the right wing. And so I'm going to try to promote independent creators as much as I can. So I did a nice thing by allowing that up there when John Trent brought this interview to me. Instead, it caused this stupid drama that is stupid, and there was no purpose to it. It was all based on falsehoods propagated by Graham and Ethan Van Sciver that I had nothing to do with. And this is the sad part of the indie spaces. And I always say this, like, if you're worried about associations and crap like that, you really don't have a place in what this movement was supposed to be, because that's what the mainstream comic industry did to us. And Graham Nolan should know this better than anybody. DC Comics has him blacklisted because of his associations and because of the way he votes and the way he is as a alleged Catholic conservative. So he should be a little sympathetic towards that, but whatever. A couple of bucks, I guess, is more important than values for a lot of these people. And that's where things change. Now, this guy, Sam Gray, who has contributed to us quite a bit, wrote an article on understanding the nature of performative behaviors. And I again, this is something I wouldn't generally put on my site because it's a lot of it mentions me, and I don't like to be the news story. If you look at Phantom Pulse, we cover things: Black Adam, Wicked, Star Wars Starfighter, Twilight of the Gods. We do about 8 articles a day. There's about 3,000 articles on this now between all the contributors. And so I don't really want to be a part of the news, right? That's not my purview here. And you go into comics and really it's not about me. We got the Lucent creator, Michael Bancroft. We covered this yesterday. Babylon 5, Daredevil, Scott Snyder, George R.R. Martin's reboots, IDW, Mike Barron's Bronze Star, which we promoted Mike Barron, again, a conservative creator. We try to do what we can. By the way, Mike Barron did not throw a fit about us over that because he's an actual adult and is a good person. So support his work. But that's what we do, and that's our entire intention on this on Phantom Pulse. But I allowed that up there. I allowed the criticism of it, and I read it on my YouTube channel because it was a very good essay on performative outrage and just how fake cancel culture is and how fake these little tribalistic cultures are, right? And so with that, that did very well on the channel. Thank you guys for watching. We have some crazy comments as Ethan Van Sciver tries to create some drama. I guess it's a slow news day over on Trashcast, which he did on X, and then, of course, ran a full live stream throwing a fit about me as well for 3 hours and 45 minutes. I don't watch any of this stuff because I just don't have time. I'm saying JDA is in love with Graham Nolan. Trying to just stir up some drama nonsense again. Now, meanwhile, I'm just working on comics, and you could see that we do the best comics, and this is why they're afraid of us in ComicsGate. I posted this preview of my Deus Volt: The Second Crusade, which is not available right now, as we're working on this. And I say we got the most based comics ever in existence, and I've got El Cid slaying Muslim invaders in Valencia, Spain. We do a little, I'd say, classier comics than ComicsGate, with a little more historical themes and more interesting things, or some sci-fi themes that are a little deeper than you'd get from these guys. And they know this, and that's exactly why they work so hard to try to cancel me constantly. They just don't want this to be discovered. And that's the whole situation here. Now, if you guys want to support what we're doing in comics, I've got my Substack right here, which is JDA COMICS SUBSTACK. This is just comics. I just post for free. Flying Sparks, we're now posting, almost done through issue 5. At the end of every issue, I do a commentary track showing exactly my decision-making through all this. Issue 5 is really where Flying Sparks takes off. It's a 15-issue series so far, as I say, and this is something that I want to get you on. So read for free because it's all about generating readers. Well, these guys are about just like making up nonsense drama that doesn't even exist, right? It's the Saska sisters. Okay, sure, okay. I'm actually just spending most of my time making comics. I don't live stream. I don't spend my time doing that stuff. I'm busy. I've got between Fandom Pulse, as you can see how much output we have, and my actual work, like I don't have time for any of that nonsense. And so we do this, and it's all about this. Now you can sign up here, and you should, because you'll just get free comics, and you'll be in touch, right? Because I never know if I'm going to find you on the algorithm again. I also have exclusives. If you do a paid subscribership, it's like a Patreon. And so if you want to do this, you can support our Extra Sensory and Astromancer and more comics coming soon that are going to be exclusives, which I appreciate as we're building this because you guys have been very generous and great so far. So check this out. It's in the description below. Thank you guys for signing up right here. And yes, this is the real comics movement, guys. We're building comics. Comics first. It's about Christ conservatism in comics, and that's what we try to do here. And so it's really sad. These guys just spend their time like, I'm posting this. They're posting me. And then, of course, he's got more where he's going to... He's actually digging... I'll get into this in a second because it's pretty interesting on that front. But this is what he started with his live stream yesterday. So someone said, Ethan Van Sciver from Phantom Pulse Substack was JDA conveniently kept for being seen. Yeah, you can... I mean, Phantom Pulse has 3,000 plus articles you can read every single day. There's no conveniently... I mean, these guys are ridiculous. They act like there's a conspiracy and all this stuff. So he says, of course, JDA is lovesick over Graham Nolan. He made a video where he reads this article about how mean Graham is to JDA. It's not really about that. If you actually watch the video and you watch the article, or read the article, it's actually about performative outrage in culture and just how fake it is. And he's a good example of it. But he's not the overall sense. We're talking about the global problem here because we talk about real cultural problems where these guys are, again, just fixated on personal crap over and over and over again. We have like global problems to solve with the culture, and that's my goal. We're fighting the culture war here. The article is hilariously awful and gay, but JDA leaves out that the article was published by his own website. I was promoting through the entire thing. What are you talking about? Written by ChatGPT. Ascribed to Sam Gray, which is yet another JDA alias. Now, this is really funny. And they keep going. Of course, he's got a bunch of monkeys in the comments. I say, Sam's a great guy. I almost turned down his article, but he made very solid points about online performative outrage and how fake and gay it really is. If you read it, you're perpetuating exactly his point right now, ironically. And that's it. He is. If you read that article, which I do recommend, he is perpetuating exactly this with performative outrage. And so he just calls names because they don't have anything, right? And so Gray, literally his name. So the reason they started thinking this was not his name is because of this guy, Liam Gray, who like just had a mental breakdown. And, I said some prayers for him the last couple of weeks because he said he was going to Minecraft himself, and we don't want anything like that to happen to anybody like that. But I don't talk about this guy or think about this guy very much. He makes videos about me regularly. And that's it. Sam Gray. I'm sure Graham just ignores him and doesn't respond. He's going to stop. It's all Graham's fault. He reacts. He brings it on himself. And bear with me here. We are dealing with obsessed criminal nuts, people who have no morals or lines. You see how crazy this is? This guy's really unhinged and really needs mental help and should not be on the internet. And Ethan encourages him pretty regularly to delve into this stuff, which is part of the problem of ComicsGate because Ethan likes to gas up his lol cows so that he can have this circus around him for his drama streams. And he did it with the drama stream as well, of course. So that's where all this came around. Now, Sam Gray is a real name. It is not me. And it is this YouTuber, the EGAT. As you can see, he's got 6,000 subscribers. He has a very good channel. All of his videos are very good. I highly recommend his channel. And I highly recommend his output on here. And so he talked about this according to Comic Artist Crow Secrets. I'm John Delarose. Ethan is a smart guy, though, so he's probably right, and I've been living a lie my whole life. Pretty funny like that. But you can watch his videos. Like I said, great guy, and he contributes quite a bit to Phantom Pulse as well. If we go to the performative, we can... We can check this out and look at this here. He has... How do I actually go through here? Posts. You can see he's got a lot of articles with us. Most of them are video game related because that's what he's mostly into. and very good stuff all the way around. He has very deep points. They're very philosophical, and I love reading his work. And so I definitely recommend just following him on Substack, following him on YouTube. But you can see they just made something up right here. And this is what they do in this group. Made something up, and then the whole group goes around and just repeats and repeats and regurgitates and then reiterates the performative outrage. And that's the whole problem. That's what we're trying to avoid here and create a new comics movement around actual comics, right? And talking about like legitimate comics because it's very important that we actually build that. Now, it's not working very well for them. As you can see, this is the result. I mean, as this goes around, and it's just about attacking conservative and Christian creators over and over and over again, it's just losing subscribers over here. And the same thing we find on X is like actually since he started doing this, he's been losing followers as well. He's lost a couple hundred followers over the last couple of weeks because people don't want this crap. Now, as you can see, he just spends all his whole day drumming up just nonsense for these like 4-hour live streams. He's not working on comic books, obviously. And here it is. Here's a peek at JDA's secret chat room in which Matt Var body slammed Smiller over. So this is JDA's show link. So I used to run a live stream like 2 years ago, and I would post my link in here, right? And Ethan was in it because Ethan used to come on my show before he performatively decided I was a bad person for ComicsGate. So you can see how this like is just total nonsense. He's digging through 2 years ago show link of YouTube shows to come up with his content where it's Matt Barr is fighting with Mike S. Miller, two artists here who, again, it doesn't have anything to do with me, doesn't have anything to do with now, but because he's sifting through DMs and just obsessed with this stuff, it's interesting. They say, I'm in love with Graham Nolan. I mean, somebody else seems to be in love with me, which is kind of weird. I'm not into that, Ethan. But that's what they're doing. And this is what ComicsGate's all about these days. And that's why it's so much failing. And you can just show this stuff because this is what they do all day, every day. All of their, it's their YouTube channels, their X channels, this. And then you look at like the output that we're actually putting out here. And it's like, well, we've got, I've got Fandom Pulse. What's our output today? We've got a lot going on. What's the Substack output today? Then we've got books coming out. Then I'm running my main channel, right? So it's like we're doing the work here to actually fight the culture war. And I'm glad you're here, and I'm glad I can actually show this because the gaslighting gets to be so much. And if you're involved in those circles, you see just how bad it is. Now, I hope that they eventually stop. I don't want any problems or anything like that. I'm friendly to everybody. And we're not just trash casting people here or anything like that, but we're just hoping that eventually they come around and start fighting the culture war and doing things right again. In the meantime, sign up for my Substack right here. Get my comics. Really appreciate you guys being here. And thanks for watching. We'll be back soon.